regardless of the success that they had last season, to me, Mbappe is going to be a better player and Real Madrid are going to be a better club because he's there.
Are PSG and Real Madrid better or worse with and without Kylian Mbappe? That is the big question. Here are the statistics. 111 goals for Real Madrid this season, and those are the stats with Kylian Mbappe in the side. 113 goals for PSG. A lot of them have come from that man on the left, Ousmane Dembele, particularly in 2025 this season. Recently on our network, the PSG owner, Nasser El-Khelaifi, was asked about the club's new approach after the recent win over Liverpool, one of their best ever results in the Champions League. Let's hear what he had to say.
You've changed tactics in a way, because you've a long way you brought the big stars in and you spent a lot of money, and now you're not doing that, and you have this team. How far in this process and how long do you think you can go with the way you're doing it now?
You know, I think for the last 13, 14 years we've been building the club, building the brand of the club too. So each period was really important for the history of the club, for our project. Today, of course, today with last 2 years and especially, to be honest, this season is the theme. The star is the theme, as everyone repeating it, the coach, the players, and amazing. I mean, if you tell me who's the best players today, I don't know, all of them.
Let's talk about the PSG perspective from things. There's no question that Kylian Mbappe was probably the best player. Over the course of the time that he was there, he was their best player, and we saw it there in those highlights. But it's hard to argue with what Al-Khelaifi says there, that this is a better team, and I'm using the T word, they're the team, without Kylian Mbappe in it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they've changed their philosophy, they've changed their idea, the mentality, and the way that they want to produce this PSG team, and obviously the way they want to put it together. They've created more focus on the team and what Luis Enrique wants as a team, as a group of players, what he can do and get done on the training ground. I think we've all seen the video on social media of him sitting one-on-one with Kylian Mbappe and trying to break down to him certain things and also get across to him in some way, but it's hard to do. This guy's an icon in Paris, and around Paris, it's very difficult for a player who's from that area to be able to concentrate and focus just on their football. The goals he scored are truly invaluable for PSG and will go down in history. But without Mbappe, PSG have built, in my opinion, a more balanced and versatile squad of players. Every single player seems to be impacting the team in some way, and they seem to be performing to the best of their abilities. They're averaging a higher possession rate this season. That's not the only way that they've improved the squad. They've actually taken more shots per game. 18 shots per game compared to the 15 shots when Mbappe was at the football club last season. And they're conceding fewer shots, so defensively they're actually getting better as well. So therefore, what I'm basically trying to say is that as a unit, as a team, they are by far better without Kylian Mbappe in the squad than they are with Kylian Mbappe in that starting 11. I just think that they're more dynamic, they're more dangerous, they can now handpick which players they think can impact the group in a better way, not necessarily on a superstar level. Now it's about the small technical bits. Where can we improve the squad that we already have? They went out to get Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. What an amazing signing that has been. This guy comes in with a great attitude, with room for improvement, with age where he can continue to develop and become a better player. He makes them a better squad, and I love what PSG have done without Mbappe.
I think also now as well, because there isn't this focus on one star, and we're seeing some of the names here, you know, Doué, he's come off the bench a lot and performed brilliantly when he's come on, scored those 7 goals and 12 assists. Barcola's mostly in the starting 11, he's been brilliant. Ousmane Dembele has been electric, particularly, as I said, since the turn of the year with all of those goals that he's scoring.
Yeah.
It's no longer live or die by the star. And it wasn't just Mbappe, you know, prior to Mbappe, Neymar and some of the other big names that they've had at the club, it was always, if they play well, this team plays well. If they don't play well, then this team doesn't perform well. Yeah. Now, if Dembele has a bad game, or Barcola has a bad game, or Doué doesn't do much when he comes on as a sub, it doesn't matter, because we've got all those other players who can contribute too.
Dare I say it, that they're maybe creating some sort of a dynasty at PSG? Obviously you see the faces there and you see the statistics around the attacking trio that's been more deadly for PSG this season than not. For me, there's also this dynamism that they have in midfield, which has been really effective. Vitinha's been probably the one player that stood out to me in that midfield. I know Ruiz obviously deserves a ton of credit as well. They do a great job in that midfield. The way that they're dominating pretty much every single midfield, and it was clearly evident against Liverpool in that most recent second leg of the Champions League, where the midfield was just better than Liverpool's midfield, and I didn't think that was even possible, that a team could outplay Liverpool's midfield at Anfield in the fashion that PSG did do. But they're just brilliant. I mean, obviously the passing accuracy from someone like Vitinha is outstanding, but his productivity's still there as well as far as assists and goals. I just think Luis Enrique must be just licking his lips at what he's got in his future. I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon. Sure, there's pressure to win a Champions League, but maybe domestically we're recognising they're going to clean up again. Maybe they can start to do that on the European stage as well. Everyone around Europe right now seems to be failing in one way or another. And PSG are slowly that team that's getting better and better. Which other team in European football right now is getting better? I mean, if you look at the best teams in European football from last season, I mean, you have Borussia Dortmund in the final against Real Madrid. Real Madrid, I think, have taken a step backwards from their quality last season. Manchester City out of the competition and taken a massive step backwards domestically, and obviously with what they've done in the European stage as well. Liverpool had a great season, but are starting to burn out. They're now out of multiple competitions, including the Champions League, so they're taking a step backwards as well. There's one team, I mean, Bayern Munich step backwards. One team that's taken a step forwards for me that on a consistent basis continuously turn out. And it's taken them time. Group stage wasn't kind on PSG. Almost missed out on it. But they've gradually taken every stage of competition to improve. They're taking the international break to send their players away, hopefully come back healthy. Man, they're going to be a squad to be really forced to be reckoned with, I would imagine, for a period of time now. And they have every opportunity, Adam, of winning this Champions League.
They certainly do. Let's transition to the more difficult side of this conversation for me, which is Real Madrid. You mentioned there that they really have gone backwards this season when you compare to last season when they won La Liga and they won the Champions League as well. Has Kylian Mbappé made this team better? Because I don't think you can argue that he's contributed. I mean, he scored plenty of goals, but has he made this team a better side with him in it?
Well, 31 goals, 5 assists across all competitions this season. He's been outstanding for them. Obviously, 20 goals in La Liga right now has been pretty impressive for him. He continues to improve as the season goes along and he settles into Real Madrid. He's starting to take the whole team along with him, and everyone's buying into Kylian Mbappé, where previously they were probably bought into Vinicius Jr., and now all of a sudden it's the Mbappé show. The players around him, I think, are what going to make Mbappé better and make this team win. If Vinny Jr.'s not playing well, he's not going to be in that team. Rodrigo's not playing well, he's not going to be in that team. You've got Brahim Diaz who's coming in and basically impacting as much as he possibly can. But this season, what I'm enjoying from Vinny Jr., Rodrigo, obviously Brahim, who's stepped in and done a great job, is that they've performed well together alongside Mbappe, and it's taken time to take their performance to the next level, but they're good enough. They're across multiple competitions still involved, right? But I will say this, they're a better group than last season. But it's hard for me to sit here and say that this team is performing as good as they were last season. I feel like Real Madrid as a group have taken a step backwards, maybe because of fatigue more than anything else. You lose experience with Toni Kroos in that midfield. That's invaluable to a team like Real Madrid. They do have Luka Modric playing well, but they've taken a step backwards, and in many ways for me it's simply down to tiredness, it's down to fatigue, it's down to the amount of games they've competed in. They've been in, obviously, Saudi Arabia competing in games multiple times already this season, and yet they're still there. They're still involved in every competition. And Mbappe's probably the reason why they're still involved in every competition and have a chance to win it. So to me, they are a better squad with Kylian Mbappe in it than they were without him. Regardless of the success they had last season, to me, Mbappe is going to be a better player and Real Madrid are going to be a better club because he's there.
That's exactly the point I was going to make, that football is a development game. It's not always about how you are where we are now. It's also where are we going to get to? And if you are going to get to a stronger position with Mbappe in the team and work a way to potentially get him and Vinny Jr. playing better together and some of the other elements that he gives you compared to what you had previously, then that's worth it.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, you can't sit here and say that Vinny Jr. has been excellent this season. He's not. He's taken a step backwards with his performance and his statistics.
What I'm saying, though, is they might figure it out. You never know.
Yes, if they do figure it out, they're going to be an even better Real Madrid. Yes.
Precisely, yeah.
Do they figure it out? That's the big question that we've probably got to ask. But here's the bigger thing. I don't think they need to with Mbappe in this type of form, Adam. That's what I'm saying. With Mbappe in this type of form, you have an opportunity to absolutely clean up. He's that good.